enables very efficient information sharing. So what's the need for this integration? So currently, lead certification processes are mostly conducted at the end of the design stage, which makes it very difficult and costly to go back and change design and components to raise the lead rating or just to even make it a certified building. Um, so having a lead estimating tool in BIM would allow for more sustainable buildings to be built and to reduce the difficulty and cost. So the objective of this paper, this journal, was to uh, build, create a plugin for BIM software to estimate lead scores during design. This was this need came about because the U.S. Green Building Council reassessed the process of LEED certification with the growing use of BIM, and they they wanted an automated methodology to assess the potential. So this specific research group used the LEED for new construction guidelines for credits, LEDNC, LEED NC, and LEDNC is important because they already have component information for certain materials already stored in the BIM environment. So before they moved on to anything else, they did a literature review, as most papers should. So they reviewed different sustainability systems, and because their research was concentrated on the North American market, LEED was reviewed very extensively. Uh, Going from there, they had to choose what BIM software they wanted to use, and Autodesk Revit was the obvious approach, as it is obviously it's most often used for uh, it's the most often used approach for plugins, and uh, they did some more beyond that. They did some more research on a numerical method called KNN, which was a machine learning data mining method, which they then expanded on to create the DWKNN data mining method, which they will later use to estimate the credits that you cannot calculate directly beforehand. So on the right side of the screen, these are the LEED version 3 categories. Their main categories: sustainable site, water efficiency, energy and atmosphere, material and resources, indoor environmental quality, innovation and design process, and regional priority. So the end product will be using LEED version 4, in which sustainable site is split into sustainable site and transportation requirements, which is, transporting materials to the site, because that obviously takes carbon emissions and stuff. So we'll get a little bit further into that. Uh, so the other thing is the two credits that you can't really estimate as well are the sustainable site and the indoor environmental quality, which are typically done after the building is constructed, because you need to have the building built to see what the indoor environment is and if the site is actually sustainable or not. So the research group proposed a basic framework in which 4 steps were going to be needed to finish their research. So the first step of all was data collection. They did their data collection via literature review, and they selected some LEED certified buildings to gather data. In this step, they proposed their Revit based model. They're choosing their materials and selected areas to study. Their second step they developed was to develop a LEED calculation system. Uh, they realized that they're going to need more than just materials or whatnot. They need access to the Google Maps API for their transportation and for materials stuff, and as well as having more data from other journal sources on materials. Um, Step number 3 would be to analyze the headings and provide the plugin. So this is studying what is available in BIM models and forming an actual plugin. From there, they will check what can be calculated through BIM and see what they would need in inputs to get a full LEED score. And the fourth step would be LEED potential for the proposed building. So this is calculating a LEED points in each section, and this is done later on in a case study. All right, so the methodology was done in 4 phases. We saw a rough flow chart. They expounded on that and made a large flow chart for their proposed framework on how this would work. As said earlier, except for 2 credits, SS and IEQ, the rest are directly accounted for in the model via, oh, geez, what's it called? The material properties that you can input into Revit. So phase 1, BIM-based design and architectural plans is the most basic thing you need in a BIM LEED integration. Along with that, you need a material database for concrete, rebar, all these things. This information was collected from literature and from the U.S. Green Building Council websites, and this allows users to select sustainable components when they're building. So instead of choosing a highly unsustainable concrete, that you can use a green concrete that's self-repairing or whatnot, and that would help in the design phase. And Revit material schedules was what I meant to say earlier, allows for easy input information for the future LEED calculations. From there, they moved on to phase 2, and they developed a sustainability evaluator as a plugin for the BIM environment. This plugin was expanded using the Revit API and the Google Maps API to, as it said earlier, to give extra information on this. And lastly, as there wasn't there's some information that you cannot deduce specifically from material properties. There's a questionnaire based on other things, such like, do you plan to design covered parking, this, that, and the other, which aren't material properties.
Sorry to interrupt, John.
Yes.
Are you supposed to show us something? It's only showing the first page of the
Oh, okay.
paper.
Sorry. Yeah, I must be sharing the wrong screen.
Oh, okay.
I'll here. Let me reshare, and I'll go through those. Hey. All right.
I guess we missed.
Switching?
Yeah, I guess we missed a lot
Okay,
of good
I am
stuff.
so sorry. I clicked the wrong screen. So this is my introduction slide. I did what is the need, where this is the reason behind this research, our objectives based on the U.S. Green Building Council, what they're using, and what their final objective is, which is building a plugin for BIM. Literature review along with LEED credits, which are based on LEED version 3. Basic framework that they proposed in their 4 steps. So from these 4 steps, they expounded on it and made a flowchart for all 4 phases of their research. And this is where I left off. I'm, again, sorry about doing that. So they did phase 1 and phase 2, and I'll show the flowchart in a moment. Phase 3 was actual analysis of material and energy. A lot of this was exported out to using certain data formats, because the U.S. Green Building Council has data calculators for that. So using BIM to export in very specific formats and tables would make the calculation for energy analysis and material resource analysis very easy, as well as one of the criteria for LEED is a 10% reduction in energy consumption. So as an example, you can use MEP zoning functions to rezone HVAC systems and electrical systems to create more efficient control over HVAC, and that would help reduce energy costs and energy usage. In phase 4, at this point, we have a design, we have a plugin, and we have points already for 6 of the 8 categories from LEED version 4. So the things we need to do now are to extrapolate the other two to estimate a full score for these buildings. So um, to do this, 76 LEED certified projects data was used to create a database of points dependent, and then they use that as a framework for their algorithm they developed. They used MATLAB, and through estimation, they narrowed down on estimates for sustainable sites and indoor environmental quality. So I broke up the flowchart because it was very large and did not fit on one screen. So you can see in phase one, you have the design and the material database as inputs. This would go into the Revit API and interface for the potential. Then phase three is a big chunk of the phase because it calculates 6 of the 8 points. So you have transportation over here with Google Maps API. You have quantity takeoff and energy and water efficiency, and the questionnaire, like I mentioned earlier, for other objects. And then phase four, implementing the algorithm to get the last two. And this was a this would and then that would go back and forth between MATLAB and Excel to narrow down on that. So at this point, the research group has developed a plugin for BIM to test this. So obviously, once you have a plugin, you have to test it. So they did model implementation and validation. They chose an office building in Calgary, in Canada, and I'll switch over to the actual PDF because there's a lot of screenshots of them using the software. So this screenshot here is part of the questionnaire. Is there roof parking spaces for bicycles for at least 15% of the residents? Things that you don't get from material properties. I'm gonna probably have to stop sharing and reshare for this. So can you guys see the paper? All right. So this is just different things. So required prerequisites. You got project location with the Google Maps API. You have the checklist questionnaire, material properties and details that have been used. This is input for the water, energy and water analysis that was done through the Green Building Council that has to be brought back in to BIM. And then there's some estimations here. Probably can just do this one here. So in conclusion, the research demonstrated a feasibility because the building that they tried showed that it would be LEED Gold certified, and the building was in fact a LEED Gold certified building. So the way this works, in summary, 6 out of 8 are calculated directly from BIM, Google Maps, embedded checklist questions, and analysis results from GBS, which is the calculation system for the Green Building Council. 2 categories are estimated, and the score is shifted to account for them. And finally, some limitations of this. Limitations, obviously, they only use 76 LEED certified projects. That's not the biggest number of projects, and adding more and more data will help refine this method to be a more concise estimator of the final LEED score. And obviously, and as I mentioned earlier, they had to transfer energy and water system analysis back. Some of the fields wouldn't transfer properly in a CSV file, so they had to manually input that. So creating a full automation of transferring that information would speed up the process significantly. So this is my presentation on BIM technologies. Is there anybody that has any questions?
Anybody question? So I have a quick question.
Yes.
I'm not expert in LEED, but I remember LEED also has some subjective metrics, something that
Yes.
we rely on expert opinion. And I guess the method the authors were using was to apply some kind of machine learning algorithm, the KNN you mentioned, and try to model that kind of knowledge. So what's your opinion on that? You know, how would you think the effectiveness of relying on the previous data to infer potential expert opinions?
Well, So expert opinions were taken into account to some extent because a lot of the initial material properties and stuff was taken from those experts at the U.S. Green Building Council and other literature review. So for the final two that were extrapolated, right now it's a little iffy. There, like we've mentioned before, machine learning needs millions and millions and millions of data points to actually truly understand what's going on, and 76 doesn't really cut it. So in the future, I can see them adding more data and training it to estimate better. But again, the whole point of this right now is a rough estimation of what a building can be instead of coming back in after you've already spent countless man hours on designing and choosing materials, doing structures, doing all that. So this helps in the conceptual phase. So
Thank you. Yeah. Any question from the class? You guys have been so quiet. Let me think about. So I think this is a cool idea, like integrating all the evaluation standards inside a centralized model, which is a BIM model. So in your opinion, what are the pros and the cons of doing this? Definitely the advantages are very obvious, right?
yeah.
So you can easily manipulate the model and try different alternatives. But what could be the potential disadvantage of doing this?
Well, from what I know about lead, as you said, it is very subjective. So only using lead as the basis of the model might not be the most sustainable, if that's what you're talking about. It's also known that lead buildings can often be more expensive than non-lead certified buildings. So unless an owner wants a sustainable building, there's not really an incentive on that part. And trying to work with this is not exactly what they want. Um, Other things are developing an actual objective framework or doing a collection of different frameworks that not only affect the North American market but international standards would help reduce the cons of this specific plugin.
Yeah, I got that. So I guess um, let me also have a follow-up question.
Okay.
So that's in general about the building information modeling. Like people have been talking about the benefits of using BIM to support scheduling, estimating, now the lead as well as facility management. But the reality you see in the industry is a lot of professionals still are very reluctant to use BIM, especially estimating. What can be the reason for that, in your opinion? Like
The reason
since
for
BIM,
hesitation when
yes,
using it,
yes.
um, among the different things, probably just the cost to upgrade their IT systems to handle larger models, because 2D CAD is significantly lower strain on computers, especially when you get to 3D rendering and models like that. It definitely increases the capacity you need, and that's an upfront cost that some people might not want to use. Among other things, the fact that certain departments of transportation don't require 3D models means people aren't going to go out of their way to move on. As for facility management, you would need to have management corporations demand a BIM model to use for that, and training for their workers to actually use Revit to, manage their facilities properly. So
Also,
there's a lot of issues from different approaches that are holding back more widespread
so
implementation.
what you said is actually about the change management, right? So if whenever an organization wants to make a change, there's always a learning curve, there's always a
Yeah.
initial cost, and a lot of people perceive the risk in different ways, right? So I want to share my conversation with some industry people, especially when I was teaching BIM in Texas, and there are a lot of big companies, oil and gas companies in Texas, in Houston area. So I was talking to a group of senior estimators. The reason they didn't want to use BIM for estimating is they just didn't trust technology. So they want to, whenever they do the quantity takeoff, they just didn't trust the number magically given by the computer. So let's say if you have a BIM model, you click one button, it tells you how many cubic yard of concrete you have, the average size of everything. they just didn't trust that. They prefer to print out the drawing and use a ruler, and they have some fancy pen. I don't know if you can see that. There's a roller at the end of the pen. You just basically push the pen like this, go in that, and it basically reads like the distance of the line, and they have the calculator to do everything. Even though you have the computerized solutions such as Beam and even the on-screen takeoff. I don't know if you guys used the on-screen takeoff before. It's basically you send your model, and it's kind of like a PDF reader, right? You send your model to the program. You can use your mouse to select the area, select the line, and boom, you have the dimensions, everything automatically. It's logic-wise, it makes sense, right? Because it's just converting what you have on the screen into the real scale. Yeah. It's an easy task for a computer. But still, I see this group of people, they just print out the drawings and use their fancy pen to do that. It just, people still, a lot of, especially senior professionals, they still just don't trust technology. And that's my observation. And I don't know how to solve that problem.
It's hard. I mean, I imagine that they, during their life, saw the advent of MS-DOS all the way up to exactly. 3D modeling. So they know the limitations of computers from the beginning stages, and they trust themselves more. But at this point, it's who's going to cause an error more, a human hand or a computer that's calculating basic dimensions. At this point, I would argue a computer would do it more efficiently and faster with much less errors, especially if it's, you know, that there is an argument to be said for people inputting the data wrong and not being able to catch it because there's no calculations to review on paper. Exactly. It's all done in the back end and just a numbers put out. But
yeah, I just want to share with you guys some interesting story. Like the boss of my former boss, he every time he just print out the emails and handwriting the response and asked his secretary to type in and reply to the email. So that's very common in the construction industry. All right, so thank you, and please, thank you, John, and please put your evaluation for John, use the link in the chat box. And I think today we will have the smart app demo, right? So we postponed it by 1 week, and so it's this week. We are still waiting for, I think, 2 more people. So I don't know what you guys want to do. You want to do it now and wait for the 2 people to join later, or you want to hold it until they come back? Let's do it now, okay? We don't care if they're here or not.
Then what about the evaluation if they are not here?
Yeah, it's fine, you know, because the evaluation, let me check what is the percentage from me and the percentage from others. Let me check the syllabus. Okay, it doesn't say in the syllabus. I guess it's the same to everybody. I don't know. They just told me they have exam today. So let me check when they will be back. So their exam will be until 5 p.m. Okay. So I guess we can wait for them. But meanwhile, I'm going to cover something new. I also don't want them to miss that part. What else can we do now? Let me check. Oh, so Yash, you are back.
Yes, Professor. Good evening.
Yeah. Hey. So you were taking the exam, right?
Yeah.
And I think
he's also taking the exam. I guess he's also done with it. He can join in 2 minutes.
Oh, in 2 minutes? Okay, great. Yeah. So then we can do the team demo first.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So which team wants to be the first one?
We can go first.
Okay, sounds good. And meanwhile, guys, I'm going to share the evaluation link in the chat box, and this is for the smart app demo. And please use that link. Okay, so whenever you guys are ready, and let us know your team number, okay? And by the way, John, I think you joined Wendy and Junyi.
Yes.
Okay. So I will move your name to their team.
Okay.
All right. Whenever you guys are ready.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Hello everyone, this is group number 1, and we're gonna be talking about repair works application. So first, we want to start with the user's need. So this application is about repair works and maintenance, and this kind of work requires a lot of monitoring and documenting. Also, we need, like the user needs to organize their data and their workflow, and how they can supervise the repair works. It's very important in mega scale projects such as like the horizontal construction. We need like an effective method to monitor the repair works. For example, Florida Department of Transportation have like a lot of projects like all over the Florida state, and the location is like so far for each project. So like if they have like a simple application that they can use to monitor their repair works, it would be great. So our objective is to provide an easy app that can be used by inspectors to document the repair works and the maintenance that they do. This application helps supervisors and managers to monitor and organize the work, enhance the documenting process. So now we're gonna go to how we can use this application, and I'm gonna show like a brief video here. So when we start this application, it has like very simple overview. This is the main menu. We can see the repair works that we have, the job priority, some statistics of our work. So if we go and click the priority of the job, we can see like how many high priority work we have and low priority work we have. So in this case, we just have like 2 high priority, so we can go and finish this work first. Maybe it involves some risk or something like this. Then the other tab, like we can see some statistics. So this is like very like useful for supervisor and managers to monitor the work, how many work in progress, how many like new works, and the work that has been done. So now we're gonna go to the main menu and how we can use the work. So at the bottom here, we can see the new job in progress. This is the job in progress, and this is the work has been done. And this is a map that shows like the location of each repair work and the maintenance work that we have. So now we're gonna like start a new job, and how we can like do that. We have the inspector tab. We can add a new name, like the email address, so we can contact those inspectors. Now we just like select one that we have in our list. Now we're gonna like choose the type of defect that we have that we're reporting. We can like choose from the list here, or we can like add a new one. Now we're gonna like take a picture of the area that we want. As we can see, there's like defects here. After taking the photo, we can like add descriptions, any description that we want, any like notes, like to help to monitor the work, or like if there is like notes that we need to follow. Then we can choose the status of the work. Of course, this is like a new job. So the new job we have is always in red color, work in progress in yellow, and the work done in green color. Is just to help to visualize the work that we have. Then we can add the location as we saw in the map there. It's very helpful like for large projects, or if we have like many projects that we are monitoring. It's very helpful to see the locations of the work that we have. And as we can see at the bottom here, this app like automatically put the date and the time of the work and the person who documented this work. Also we can edit it, but it's like very helpful. Now we're gonna like do like barcode scanning. We suggest like each drawing has like a barcode, so it will be easier to document. This is we can assign the priority of the work. If it's high priority, we can see like a red color here. So now if we go to the status of the work that we have, this is the new job here. So let's go back to the job priority. Now we can see like we have like additional work here. We can see the statistics. We have like one more new job. We can like follow our work here. And now this shows like the location of the work. After that, after like this work has been done or repaired, we can like change the status. Like for done, some comments, what has been done. This shows like after done the work, like the job, the high priority job, it's dropped to 2. So it's very helpful to monitor the work. And the most important is after like doing all this, like all the data, it's saved in or stored in Drive Excel sheets that we can have like all the information documented and easy to follow in the future with the link of the location and the status of the work, and everything is automatically like stored in Drive storage. Now we're gonna go like over the user manual just to see how it's easy to use this application.
Okay, it's the user manual. So yeah, I describe just what Lami said, and this is the main page of the application. You can see the card which shows the progress and the type of the deterioration. And when we want to add new inspection data, just hit the blue circle on the circle, and up next, please. And we can, the first line shows the inspector name, and we pick the inspector name or add new names. And the second line is the defect, and we can pick the one of the deterioration from the from here. And if we have a new deterioration, we can also add the name on it. And then the third line is the image, as Rami explain about it, and also the next line shows the description, and also the inspector describe about the feature of the deterioration and the cause of the deterioration. And the next is status. It shows the new or in progress or done. So if you add the new yes, and the next is location, and so the next is the date and time, and then we can also add the drawings on the application. And the last one is priority. If you have emergency, if you have the deterioration, immediately fix the deterioration, you have to add the high priority on it. So that's the user manual. It's very simple application for using to use, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. I really like the function that you include the drawing. Although it's just a link, right? I think it's a link to some Google Drive, but it will also be, I think it's very convenient, especially when you generate that logger. If I go there, I click the link, it can easily for me to check where it is, right? I don't know if it's possible to also show up the drawing somehow, in this app. That would be even better.
In the app, it was difficult, like to show it in the app. But if we go to the Excel sheet, like the storage of the data, we can see like a hyperlink that we can click and see the drawings there.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, and also if somehow can combine the GPS, maybe that's too much. Yeah, so the drawing actually shows the entire structure. So if somehow it can also shows the location of that on the drawing, that would be even. But I know this is limited by the function of this app sheet platform. All right, thank you. Any question from the class, from other people? No? Okay, I will give you guys a moment to fill out the evaluation form, and meanwhile, we do need a volunteer for the second presentation.
I'll be second one.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, anytime when you guys are ready.
Junior, you want me to share my screen?
I'm trying to share my screen on my phone, but I don't know. It just can't work.
Let's just share it on the web app, because if it's not going to work on the phone.
Okay.
All right. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start. Or Junior, do you want to introduce it?
Okay, I think I can do it right now on my phone.
Oh, you can do it on your phone? All right. That'll probably be better.
I don't know which one to click to share my phone.
So you want to share your phone, right?
He's trying, I think.
Yeah.
I think you just click the start recording. Just give it a second. Yeah, I found it difficult. Can you try it again? Just stop that and just try it one more time.
It just recording the
Yeah,
video
that's what I did
here.
That's what I did last time. When I share my phone, there's the only option, just click recording. Can you log out and log in again and do that again?
Right.
Now we can see it, but I just muted you because there was an echo. Let me just can you unmute yourself and see what's, yeah. I think you have two devices opening at the same time, so there was an echo. I just muted you. You have to unmute yourself, but we can see your screen right now. Yes, we can see that.
You're muted again, Junyi.
Yeah, you need to unmute yourself.
Try doing unmute on your computer.
Unmute your computer, not your phone. I don't know if I can unmute from my end. Is that working?
He hasn't unmuted either thing yet.
We cannot hear you, Junyi. We cannot hear you. You're muted.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We're team 2 with Wendy, John, and me. What we are doing is to build a house inspection app. And now I will show all you guys how to use this app. Household inspection app is an app with map, barcode, dashboard, and charts. It can help labor managers and inspectors submit their inspection reports and see which parts need to be replaced, changed, or repaired. And in this main menu, you can submit your feedbacks to help editors optimize and customize the app and to meet the need. And also there is an assistant here. You can just use that like a Siri. You can use to voice and to search some specific category, like interior. Okay. Maybe because my Chinese system is just recognize that the Chinese, but you can do that like you search something. Yeah, you can search that. It will show you some like event or types that contains the words you said. And next, the first button here is a map. The map view shows the floor plan of a house, while the existing small blue pins here, it represents and locates some different reported issues, such as this is the interior wall, and this is the door and sink and the windows. To report a new issue, and you can use two masters, and the first master is just tap on the location pin button here. It will show you a red button, and you can drag this red button to anywhere you want to report, like this door. If this is the right place, you can click that the right button, and you will show this journal form. And first line here is the barcode. If I just generate a new QR code here, and I can scan it. I named this barcode 111, and he can scan it and read it. Then you can choose the type here, and this time we find the door is not good, and you can choose the status here. Red means it's very severe problem now and is need repair or replaced and now. And the yellow one is it has some problem, but you have to notice it. And the green is good. Okay, we can write the note. We can write a note here, like the door just cannot close. And we have a John here. You can tap to unlock it, and it's a small camera. You can open the camera to take a picture to the door that has some problem. Take a picture. Okay, just take a picture from my laptop. And you can draw here. If the door has some problem in its handle, you can just circle the handle here, and the other people can easily to notice that there's some problem with the handle. Okay, there's another use of the barcode. What we want to do is you can print the barcode as a sticker, and you can put that sticker on the handle if the handle has some problem. So if the other people go on the site and view the site, he noticed there's a barcode on the handle, then he can use his phone to log in this app and scan the barcode, and he will notice what happened in this barcode. And the next one is the floor location, and the red pin button now is on the place where you choose before. Then you can see the submit by me, and I can notify the other group members. Like if I want to notify John, I can choose John here, and this is the date and time I report the problem. After saving it. Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot to choose the status here, and it's a yellow one. We will then saving the changes. Okay, and the journal. You can now see this 111, and this is the problem I just added.
Hey, Junyi, did you guys develop this one with AppSheet?
Yes.
Definitely you are showing some new functions. I don't know. So how did you guys get the function of marking up this like symbols on top of a image?
Through the let me see if I'm correct again. It's when you choose the data type, you can choose drawing, I think, and that it brings up a drawing tab, and it has an integrated camera function to it.
And this markup function is part of the drawing function, right? So as far as you have the drawing, so you are able to mark the on top of the drawing, right?
Yeah. We have a drawing column, and the type is drawing, so that allows you to
also mark up.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
then
that.
there's an editable button, I think, is what allows you to change it later or whatnot.
And the same thing with like I saw Junyi was just circling on some parts. That's also part of that.
That's
so you can
all
basically
the drawing data type.
So you basically can select this. What do you call this one? The marker. This marker, like the droplet. What do you call it?
The screen we're on right now.
Yeah.
That's just the map function. Where we had some difficulties trying to like change the backgrounds for different projects, so it's set for this one right now.
Okay, so for the map function, you are also allowed to upload the image and also mark on top.
So we had some issues getting it directly from Google Drive, so I had to use like an old free website to have a static link to the image, and then that changes the background to the map.
So let me clarify. So for the taking picture and then circle on the picture, that is, you guys change the data type to drawing. And for this one that's showing a floor plan and have this, the locations on that is the function of map.
Yeah, so to make sure you have, so you see our GPS button isn't latitude, longitude, it's an XY data type. And to have an XY data type, you need a background map so that it has a reference.
XY data type. So it's called XY data type, right? Okay, I guess I just needed to explore more functions, but it looks like this app sheet is actually very strong. Can realize a lot of functions.
So one thing that we haven't covered, Junior, you can hit the dashboard button.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, you guys can continue.
So I guess so on the dashboard we have our team members. So this gives us quick contact to pretend we're the supervisors or whatnot. If you scroll down a little bit, Junior, you see a issue severity histogram. So it tells us the count of yellow, green, or red to show how many of each there are. If you tap on one of them, it moves over to the actual issues. The barcodes are random right now, but so if you click on that, it'll bring you to a quick journal entry, which you just see a basic report instead of a full report. Can you go back? And then if you go down a little bit, so we sorted it twice. We sorted once by severity, if you want to go by that, or let's say you have a subcontractor that specifically works on doors. and the big bar on the bottom is door issues. So the subcontractor could go through and check all the door issues only and fix those. And then we do have an instruction document that's currently separate from the app. We haven't hooked it up yet.
I will say this, except for the first method, you can use the button here. You can also use the second button, this add button. You can also use this way to add your problems. But in this floor location, you can add this, and from here, you can also drag the red button
can
here
you
and
can you mute your phone?
phone?
Yeah, can you mute your phone, Junyi?
There we go.
Not mute your
I
phone.
don't know
Actually,
what problem is.
turn off the speaker on your phone. Oh, so you cannot turn it to 0. I got that. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't do that.
So the phone cannot turn to 0. Yeah, but anyway, it's much better now.
Okay. So there are 2 ways for us to use this app to add the problems. The first one, the second one. Okay, like the dashboard, like just as John said, you can use dashboard to see how many people are in our team, and we have the charts here to show the frequency of issues, severity, and types. And there's a text, a phone, and email photos here, and if you click anyone, you can directly call him or text him. Right. And third one to show is the journal here. This journal view on the map previews the pictures and barcodes associated with a journal entry. And this view allows to scroll through all reports here and find what you are looking for. Scrolling can be tedious, so a search bar at the bottom right here. And you can search by the words, or you can just scan the barcodes. Just scan the barcodes and to find which one and that you reported. And so if you use a QR code on the construction site, you can find the problems and find which problems and who reported and what time and dates it reports very easily. And this one is the manage view here. What we want to do this is help you to see it more unclear. If you see the journal, you can see all journals here, and we can move it to see all journals that we reported. And if you click one, it will show you the information here, and you can change to, if you change this to me, it can be so easily and more clear. And click the button here, you can see that what is convenient here is, and if you're in the journal here, if you click one, and you can see the other problems, but in the manage here, you can see the pictures of other problems and the problems now. If you want to change any one, you can do it right here. Okay. And finally, the map can refresh to synchronize with the database by simply tap on the button right this on the right, this refresh button. If you have any changes or if you have any changes in the database, you can just click the button here. It will refresh the button for your changes. Okay, and Professor, that's all we want to tell.
All right, thank you. Are you guys going to show like other stuff, instruction, or this is all? You're
I
muted.
can show the
Oh,
instruction manual.
Okay.
real
we
quick.
have an instruction.
Right. Yeah. 1 second. So I just did a very simple instruction. So it's basic information. So you see on the map section, it shows you the 2 different ways to add things. So as Junie said, with the pin code, you'd start with location data, but if you use the plus button, it just opens a brand new empty field if you want to enter something quickly, if it's more like a basic site thing. It kind of already went through everything that goes. It just shows that you can use the barcode, different types that are predefined, which you can add onto them through the database in Excel. You can indicate your status and take photos to draw on it. The dashboard, yeah, we covered everything on this. Yeah, it just explains the usage of clicking on the bars and tells you exactly what's going to pop up and what you can do from each page. So like the difference is on the issue severity bars, it'll give you barcode and issue type as a preview, while if you click on issue types, it'll give you barcodes and notes on the issue. So it's just quick access to those. The journal view shows those pictures as a bigger preview instead of having it categorized. And it shows on the manage, just shows how it's easier to filter through the reports instead of going one by one through the journals and going to different pages. Yeah, that's the extent of our instruction guide.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, so any question from the class? If no, please use the link in the chat box and put your evaluation. And meanwhile, which team want to be the third? Sorry, what's your team number again? Hey,
Number
hey, guys,
two.
team 2, right? All right.
No.
Okay, so which team wants to be the next? Nobody? If no, let's take a 5-minute break, a bell break, and we will continue at 5:15. Is that okay? All right, see you guys in 5 minutes. All right, guys, let's continue. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, guys, we still need a volunteer for the third presentation. Which team wants to be the next one?
We can go.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
So we came up with different ideas, but I thought like I experienced some of the issues in my previous internships related to the inspector's position. So this is our app. The name of the app is Inspector's Scribe. So as soon as we click on the app, the first tab opens as safety, which is the most important requirement in the construction industry. So as soon as someone will open the app, so he has to read all the safety standards according to OSHA's rules and regulations. Then there is a menu tab here where there are three options: contact us, site lead, and assistant. Contact us here reflects the name of the person who is handling the app, and site lead means the name of the person who is site lead on the construction job site. And then there are four options here, which are issues, tickets, expense, and safety. So if we click on the issues, these are the three issues which we have installed in this. And suppose, for example, if we click on this, we can take image of this issue. We can write the project number, date, time, and the kind of issue, the description, and the job site location. So this was the first issue which I noticed, and similarly, the kind of second issue. So if we press the plus option here, we can write different things like the project number, date, time, issue type, description, image, and job site location. Similarly, we have tickets tab. Or suppose we have a concrete coming up on the site. So there is one concrete ticket which is given to the inspector. So we need to update that concrete ticket on the website. So for example, with the same thing, we have one job site ID, date, time, material type, and we have one option: pass or fail, whether it meets the requirement of quality control and quality assurance. And if not, like, we can write the comments and the name of the inspector who inspected the material. Similarly, we have expense. Here we have different things like the other expense when you are on the job site, like if inspector has to go to some different city and inspect various things, so it's the kind of bill he can upload on this app, so the supervisors can notice all the stuffs. And yeah, so now Rohit will explain the user manual.
Hello everyone. So basically, as Suresh mentioned in his reporting, that we saw few issues on our previous internships, like material used to come in at the job site, and there used to be a ticket showing that a particular material is received. But when it came down to looking for like where the data about that material is available, it was pretty confusing. So even the same thing goes with the issues. Like there used to be a lot of issues going around on the job site, and there wasn't a proper channel to record them. So what me and Suyas decided is to create an application called Inspector Scribe, and this is how it looks like. So as Suyas explained, can you scroll it down, Suyash? So this is how our application looks. So basically, we have all the requirements which every basic application has. It's about contact us, site lead, as Suyash mentioned. It shows the hierarchy of who is going to be the lead for that particular site and who will be his subordinates. So it's all been showed in a proper manner. And similarly, we have furthermore options such as assistant, about, feedbacks, share, and app gallery, and add shortcuts to the application. Then we scroll down to the main and the most important part of our application, that's the issue. So as we noticed, there were a lot of issues caused on the job site. Like sometimes if there used to be an issue related to form work clearance, or there used to be an issue where reinforced bars which we used to get on site, they weren't used to be epoxy coated, and that's a major issue in terms of quality management and quality assurance. So in this manner, issues are reported. It's first of the four operations that is carried out by this application. So basically, we just enter the project number, the location of job site where it is, the date on which the issue was created, and the timeline at which the issue was noted down. Then we go down. So on the next slide, as Suyash shown on his particular explanation, here is an image of image showing clearance in form work. Like there was a mistake of about 2 inches, and as mentioned in the previous report, there was needed clearance of about 6 inches. So it didn't match up with what was required, and it was a form work for uh, a peer number 6. So that's how the report was created. And we also mentioned about the Google Map location of that particular form of this particular peer on the job site. So basically, it made pretty easier for any person who is handling the job site, and he doesn't need to go through the plans again and again and check out. Okay, so it's less tedious, I would say. Then we come down to this part called tickets. So tickets is basically, let's suppose some material is arriving from a particular subcontractor. Let's suppose if you receive concrete on your job site. So there has to be a receipt which shows that okay, this particular amount of concrete has been received, or this particular amount of rebar has been received. So to just clarify about that, we generate a ticket, and it's an important data that should be kept with us. Since I worked as an estimator in my previous internship, and over there I saw that a document by name purchase order has been created, and according to the purchase order, a particular material is can be procured or can be utilized on site. So ticket is the most important part of this app, and it generally even it shows us how at what time the ticket was generated, at what time the date it is, and similarly it shows the image of the bill that was received. You can go down. So here we have shown a particular example about a concrete ticket that was received. So this is our job site ID 3228, the date on which it was received, the time at which it was received on job site, and the material type, that is concrete. As Suresh mentioned while explaining the application, pass or fail. So for concrete to pass, it has many sort of tests to carry out. So a sort of test is carried, and one of the quality inspector he approves it whether it's pass or fail, and then he gives a particular comment about it, and then that ticket has been approved. So this whole data is collected on this application so that it can be easily accessed by anyone in the office. Then we come down to the most important part called expenses. So as you know, we work down at different locations. We all are civil engineers, and we don't have a fixed location to work. So there needs to be a proper account to keep our finances, and that's where expenses come handy. So even in expenses, you just need to put down the price tag which you spent. Then comes status. So status basically says that okay, your payment for which you applied has been paid or has been pending. So that sort of thing. And then comes category. So category explains about where was the expenditure done. Was it done on hotel, on gas, or some other kind of or something miscellaneous. And then comes the bill image, or you can say the receipt of bill, where it's a sort of proof which explains where was the expense done and why was it done. You can get down. So this is a typical example of one of the bill image and how it has been shown. And this is the price range that was, and its status is paid, and the category was hotel, and there is some description about it. So now we come down to safety. So safety is the final tab on this operations to make sure that everyone is aware about safety. And as we know, OSHA is one of a prime factor which plays in terms of safety in US. So yeah, we generally stand by the protocols mentioned by OSHA safety. You can go down. So the main purpose, as we mentioned, the reason behind developing this app was as as I saw that there was a bit of miscommunication on site. Like let's suppose office department didn't didn't used to communicate much with the field department, and it used to create a lot of misunderstanding. So if we create a particular platform where both office and field can collaborate easily, it could be our application, and that's why we created this application. So, since it explains everything about what's happening on your job site, even the issues which been created, and also about the work expenditure. So it's a sort of daily log about the activities, thus making it easier as well as less tedious. Well, that's the overall view of our application, and thanks.
All right, thank you. Let me, what's going on here? Any question from the class? Okay, so if there's no question, please once again use the link to evaluate our, what's our team number, guys?
Team 4.
It's team 4.
Okay, team 4. So let's use the link to evaluate team 4. And now I believe we still have one more team, right?
Yes, me and Harry.
Okay, all right. So let's do that, and let's wait for the, let's start the last one.
Okay. So me share my screen. So me and Harry, we are group 3. So in the beginning, our application is called Gator Repair. So the purpose of this application is, this is an application for the maintenance of University of Florida buildings. And the idea of this application is any employee, either from the faculty or any employee in the UF, can write a maintenance request through this application. And I'm going to show you now how they can do it. So this is the application. We have created a column for this application. We have created 15 row for it using the Excel sheet in Google Drive. So these are the columns: request ID, building names, floor, and room number, type of issue, and photo, issue description, request date, due date, and priority, employee UF ID, and employee email, and either it is resolved or not, and resolve date, and the technician ID. So back to the application. So this is the main page of our application. We can see here the first icon, which is the maintenance request. So if any employee want request a maintenance for any issue, they can click here, and then they can put their request ID. And in building names, we have created this list. So they can choose one of the buildings that has an issue, say like well hall, and they can choose the floor of the building and the room numbers and the type of issue. We have structural, synergistic exterior furniture, fire protection system, IT, HVAC, plumbing, annual inspection, monthly inspection, and electrical and others. So the employee also can take a photo from using his phone or his smartphone for the issue and upload it to the application to be shown in the technician ID. So here is the issue description. You can also write a brief description of the issue, and here the request ID, and here the due ID, the due date, and here the priority. We have created the 3 levels of priority: red, which is high priority, and then yellow, which is medium priority, and green, low priority. And here's the employee of ID, and here's his email, and he can say if it's resolved or not yet. Here is the resolve date and the technician ID, and here is the barcode. We have created the barcode for the technician ID. So the one who is going to fix this issue, he can scan his barcode, and this will be shown in the maintenance department that this person who fixed this issue, because every employee or every technician has a different barcode from others. I think this is the first part of our application, and Hari will go through the second part of our application.
Professor, is it possible to like share my screen from phone now?
I think so. You can definitely try that. Junyi actually did that.
Try.
You have to connect. You have to connect via your phone, and then there's a share button.
Okay, mute. So.
You need to turn down your speaker on your phone to the minimum.
Is it still creating the noise?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. That's better. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not positive. It's not possible. I don't know.
So when you connect with your phone, and there should be like 3 dots or something, and if you click there, and there's a share screen function.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting like this.
Yes.
I
and
click
then,
on screen.
Yeah, and then you just click the record screen. So it's called record screen.
Record screen. Oh, okay. I think
Yeah, Junyi actually tried twice before it worked.
I think it should be working, is it not?
Yeah, it was working. You just basically click, right, Junyi? That's what it did, right? So you just click the record screen, even though it's a share screen, but it's called record screen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it says it's recording.
And what happened after that, Junyi? What happened to you after that, Junyi, after you click the record screen? Junyi,
Okay,
are you there?
I'll just try to show it this way only.
I just put my mute. You can click the zoom button there.
The zoom button. Yeah, we can see our screen now.
Yeah.
So, and I'll just go over what Ibrahim spoke about. So this is our initial screen when we open the app. So you can see the requests have been categorized into different priorities, like the red one is high, the yellow one is the medium one, and the green one is categorized as the low priority one. And we can add the request as Ibrahim told, say 125 or something. This is a unique ID where this is the key, and it should be different for each request. And you have a drop down menu using the data type of nnum, and you can just select a stadium and floor, room number, say 120. Type of issue, you have various issues, say HVAC, and you can say that AC vents are leaking. Okay. Again, the date from now, like say today, and it should be fixed by a week. So we can give a priority of medium. So employee UFID, again, the email. And once we come to the technician ID, oh, just a moment. Okay, you can see the barcode. And if a technician just scans his own ID, you can see the ID number that comes up. So this is the advantage of using the barcode, where the technician can just scan his ID and it will be recorded, and you can just save. Okay, we haven't. And once you save, you just be directed to the status tab, where you can see the status of the request that has been raised. So we can see the request ID, type of issue, the priority, and if the status has been resolved or not. And if you want to go and see more details on that issue, you can just click on that issue, type of issue, and you'll get all the details, like everything: building, request ID, floor, the issue description, and the due date as well. And again, you have the calendar view, where you can just click on the date, and it just shows types of issues which are there, and you can just keep track of the dates as well, like when it should be done or not. And we had Okay, I'll just stop sharing the screen on phone, on the laptop. Okay. So okay. So on the app, we also added the behaviors where you can send the email to the maintenance team, which is the request email. So we added action to start an email once the request has been raised. So we've used this formula like where when you input a priority, say if it is red, green, or yellow. So as soon as you save the request, there'll be a email that is being sent saying hello, so and so our maintenance request has been with ID has been raised to them by the employee. So and here are the details of the request, so they can have the details of the request and work as per the priority. And also we have inserted another action where resolved. So we start there's an action where we can start an email once the task has been completed from the technician side. So we have inputted a condition where when the technician inputs the status of resolved to be yes, if the status is resolved, then the employee will get a notification saying the maintenance request which has been raised by you has been completed on so and so date. So that is one action we have added. And yeah, and the last part, like this is a manual we created, and it just basically explains what we went through, like creating all the columns and using different types of characters or whatever, like for the entries. And this is the view as I explained, like you click on this plus button or the tag and you insert all your informations, and it is against as you save the request, it shows on the status tab where you can see all the details which I said previously. And last we have the calendar again, the where you can monitor the request or a calendar. And again, at last, like the core benefits of these smartphone apps, which can be used in facility management, can be like reporting and tracking, where the engineers or like the technicians can track the issues that has been raised and when it has to be resolved and stuff. And also the data collection, it's so easily available because the employee can use the app on his phone, where he can upload the photos and also the exact description of the issue, which makes it easy for the technicians where they need not go back and forth and look into the issue. And also the maintenance of the inventory control as well, where they can watch the materials and everything which comes and goes into their uh, office or something like that. That's it. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. So any question from the class? No? Are you using 5G phone? It shows 5G signal there.
I mean, it's just that it shows 5GE, which means like 5G, but it's like the lower version, but it's not 5G.
To make you feel better.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Yeah, please put your evaluation for team 3. And after that, let's have a 10-minute break. And so let's return around 5:58. And so we'll be talking about Arduino after that. All right. See you guys.